Last time I featured a Godzilla movie on this show, I reviewed Godzilla 1985, which was the first Godzilla movie made after the end of the original series. But because I skipped over a lot of the original movies to get to that one, I thought I'd fix that by going back and reviewing all the Godzilla movies that I missed. Well, almost all of them.
The sea has cobalt, it's full of mercury. Too many fumes in our oxygen. All the smog now is choking you and me. Good Lord, where is it gonna end?
Godzilla vs. Hedorah, or as it's sometimes known in North America, Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster, is one of the more interesting entries in the Godzilla series, to put it mildly. The filmmakers wanted to give the movie a strong environmental message in order to teach kids about the dangers of pollution, but I think it might actually work better as an anti-drug movie since nearly everyone involved with it appears to have been high out of their fucking minds. It's also one of the more divisive entries in the Godzilla series, with most people either loving or hating it. One of the people who hated it was none other than the film's producer, Tomoyuki Tanaka, who was reportedly so upset when he saw the finished movie that he accused director Yoshimitsu Banno of ruining the Godzilla series. Well, joke's on him. The previous Godzilla movie already did that. It was also featured in the Medved brothers' book, The 50 Worst Films of All Time, although personally, I wouldn't put too much stock in that list. Really? The Omen is one of the worst movies of all time? Okay, I'll be sure and put that one beside Life Force on my list of movies considered the worst ever by people who haven't seen enough bad movies. Mainstream critics usually rank this as one of the worst Godzilla movies, but a lot of fans consider this to be one of their favorites. So there's some of the movie's backstory, but I can't help but think I'm forgetting something. Something I usually do at the beginning of my Godzilla videos because it works really well. I'm sure if it was important I'd remember it. Right away we're shown who the real villain of this movie is. Pollution. Oh, and Hedorah, I guess. Hedorah is a monster supposedly born from pollution and is meant to symbolize the consequences of humanity's irresponsibility towards the environment. But then later the movie just says Hedorah's from outer space, so I guess he's not our fault after all. Litter away, people! I've mentioned before that the Godzilla movies from this period had some pretty wacky soundtracks, but this movie takes it a step further and begins like a friggin' Bond movie. Okay, the version I'm reviewing here uses the original Japanese version of this song, but in North America, they originally dubbed in an entirely new song called Save the Earth.
Save the earth, save the earth, save the earth, save the earth. See the evil problem around us, save the earth, save the earth.
I have no idea what this song is doing in a monster movie, but hey, I dig it. Oh no, it's worse than I thought. Pollution's killed the 50-foot woman. I see in this movie's universe, not only is Godzilla a good guy, he's also licensed his image to sell merchandise. What kind of corporate sellout would do a thing like that?
Godzilla, your favorite?
Superman is too.
Well, that's understandable. They do both destroy cities, after all. And I'm not liking that this kid looks like he's gonna be our main character. I already sat through 8 Gamera movies. I don't need Kenny's invading my Godzilla movies, too. Alright, maybe I'm being a little too harsh here. I mean, just because they have a little kid character doesn't mean he's like a Kenny from a Gamera movie. So what's the kid's name?
Come on, Ken. Time for lunch.
Ken! Kid's name is Ken. You know what? This is my fault for thinking I could possibly escape having a Kenny in a monster movie, so fuck it. The kid's name is Ken. Anyway, Ken's dad is apparently a scientist, and some hobo fisherman brings this weird tadpole thingy he found for him to check out.
Where'd you catch this toy?
Down on the point where I usually get the shrimp. The fishing down there is getting worse every day. Not like it was in the old days.
Yeah, I'll say. Nowadays, fishing in Japan brings whole new meaning to the term deadliest catch.
These pictures came from a helicopter and show how the accident happened in the bay. Was it some kind of monster? Or was it some new kind of military weapon?
Well, you live in Japan, so I'm gonna guess it was probably a monster. God, even in photographs, Hedorah looks like he's about to eat your soul.
That was a monster tadpole. Papa, it's the same kind of fish that the old man brought here today.
And I wish he'd do that to the kid. Well, a terrifying new monster's been sighted in the ocean, so time for a swim. I don't know what the big deal is with pollution. The ocean just looks like the bottom of any public swimming pool. And where the hell is Hedorah? Oh, please tell me he eats the kid. And who could have guessed that going in the ocean after a monster was sighted there would prove to be a bad idea? Actually, you know what? On second thought, I think he's better off dead. And never mind, apparently he's okay. Also, he seems to be halfway through turning into the Toxic Avenger.
So, the monster that attacked you was the same kind as the other one, only it was much smaller.
Right.
But there isn't just one Hedorah. There are lots of them.
Hedorahs?
That's just a name my son dreamed up for them.
Look, it was either that or something generic like the Smog Monster, so just roll with it. What the? Oh, right, I forgot to mention. Throughout the movie there are several animated segments, but they're less anime and more like some experimental Eastern European cartoons made to secretly criticize communism or something. One thing's for sure, they make an already trippy movie seem even more drug-fueled. Even Godzilla's first appearance has him looking like he's stoned at Burning Man and trying to find his friends. And in case you didn't know pollution is gross, this movie really lets you know, so mission accomplished there. Damn it, Godzilla, you're not helping the environment, you're just putting more carbon into the air. Cut it out, will ya? Oh, and bad news, Doc, your tadpole monster appears to have gone stale.
Papa, Godzilla's coming to save us. He's going to come and kill the Hedorah. I saw it happen in my dream.
So not only does the kid name the bad monster, he also just magically knows things he should have no idea about? Yep, he's a Kenny, alright. Oh well, as long as he's here, might as well use some of Hedorah's sperm cells to teach him about the birds and the bees. Okay, actually they find out that pieces of Hedorah can regenerate in the water and join together to form a larger monster.
This means they can reach enormous size.
Bigger than Godzilla?
This is a new and unusual mutation. And frankly, this one's really got me worried.
Considering you just said it can potentially grow bigger than Godzilla and destroy the world, I'd say you seem pretty calm right now. There may be a monster threatening the Earth, but never mind that. Time to freak out, man! Yeah, this was back when everyone under 30 was legally required to wear floral pattern shirts. This movie is so psychedelic, I'm starting to think I might be on drugs. Even Hedorah's taking an industrial-sized bong hit. No wonder his eyes look so bloodshot.
Huh? Hey, come on, man. You're harshing my mellow here.
Godzilla is not gonna stand for this. Okay, not the music I'd pick for my fight entrance song, but whatever. Hedorah doesn't appreciate getting narked on and proceeds to battle Godzilla using the pin your little brother so you can fart in his face technique. And I think the movie might be trying to fast forward through the fight scenes. I swear I'm not speeding this footage up. Godzilla seemingly defeats Hedorah, but there is a bit of collateral damage. Great, not only did you make a mess, you also ruined Mahjong night for these guys. Thanks a lot, Godzilla. Oh, Jesus! Oh god, the movie's freaking out! You know, I'm beginning to think the script for this was secretly ghost-written by Hunter S. Thompson. Don't believe me?
I was right in the middle of a fucking reptile zoo, and somebody was giving booze to these goddamn things. It won't be long now before they tear us to shreds.
And it turns out there's only one thing Hedorah hates more than the environment: loud rock music. Well, there's a great way to teach people to respect nature. Animal cruelty. And I don't think they should be driving when they're clearly intoxicated. They don't even seem to care that there's two giant monsters right in front of them. Oh, hey, look! Godzilla vs. the Smog Monster's playing at the drive-in. I love that movie. And if you had any doubt these two are high as a kite...
Godzilla's gonna fight the Hedorah.
But if they start fighting, they'll smash up everything.
You ever stop and think that maybe, like, we're the real Godzilla, man? And turns out Hedorah doesn't need to smash anything, since his preferred fighting method is just being gross as shit. Ugh, I don't know what hole Hedorah shot that out of, and I don't want to know. Even the monster battles in this movie seem designed to trip people out. There's usually no music during them, and a lot of times the monsters are just moving really slowly and giving each other funny looks. Almost like they're not sure if what they're looking at is real or a hallucination. Speaking of which... Look, man, I need you to tell me that I'm not gonna die if I leave this car, alright? I need to hear somebody say it. Oh boy, more cartoons. You know, I'm sure these were meant to be educational, but they're like Sesame Street cartoons if they were made by the animator of Pink Floyd's The Wall.
It has been reported that Hedorah and Godzilla have fought at Sagami Bay. At least 35 people have been killed and 81 injured, and more than 300 buildings destroyed by these two giants.
Okay, would have been nice to see that fight scene, but thanks for telling us about it, I guess.
What's the matter with that man? Godzilla came to kill the Hedorah because he hates it too.
Ken, how come you know so much about it?
Okay, there's one difference between this and a Gamera movie. The characters actually question how Kenny knows everything. Anyway, Ken's dad makes another important discovery about Hedorah.
So it didn't eat the cat outside the discotheque. Instead, it decided to consume the smoke. Industrial smoke's poisonous. So why did it do that? I know why.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Take it easy, Doc. The kid is the one who's supposed to automatically know things, alright?
The green and red gooey stuff is a waste material, and the white shiny stuff is a crystallized carbon. I think we should call it hedrium, don't you?
See? What'd I tell you? They discover that after consuming pollution, Hedorah emits a highly corrosive acid that could soon make all air toxic to breathe and engulf the world. Wow, this is big news. He's got to inform the authorities.
It is believed that the Hedorah is a freak organism formed in one of our polluted rivers or bays.
Can't you forget this for a while?
Oh, okay. I guess it's not a big deal then. You know, instead of going to an amusement park, you might want to start thinking about how to stop Hedorah. The pollution level's getting so bad, even Godzilla's starting to look like an oil stain. We've already established that Hedorah hates the environment and rock music, but there's another item on his shit list. Fitness. Yeah, next Hedorah's gonna interrupt Aquasize class at the senior center. Not only is Hedorah destroying the city, he's also keeping people stuck in traffic.
It's quicker to walk.
It would also be better for the environment. You ever think of that? Okay, as much as I poke fun at Hedorah, he is easily one of the most unique monsters in Godzilla movie history. He takes on several different forms throughout the course of the movie, and it's also nice that they decided to break with the usual formula of constantly using a man in a costume to play around with his design. Although, it's kinda hard to tell just how powerful he is, since Godzilla seems to beat himself up in this movie. And in addition to having a Kenny like a Gamera movie, this also includes a surprising amount of monster gore. It's okay, Ken, you're just having a bad trip. Give it a few hours and it will pass. And give Hedorah credit, at least his path of destruction shows some real artistic talent.
The burning acid mist affects the eyes and throat, and bodies of the dead are reported to be piling up in the streets.
If this continues, it'll wipe out the entire country.
I should probably tell the authorities everything I've learned about Hedorah so far, but on second thought, nah, I'll just keep lying here. Screw the human race, my ass is comfy. Even if Ken's dad isn't willing to do anything, the youth of Japan have their own idea on how to stop Hedorah by organizing a protest march which apparently is supposed to stop him?
So we'll get every youngster in the country, and then we'll throw a real blast of a party.
Yeah, that'll show 'em. I guess. And I'm beginning to think the real villain of this movie is the filmmakers. Not only do I have no idea what's going on right now, but what in God's name are they doing to that poor baby? Come on, movie, cut me some slack here. I can't riff 20 things at once. Alright, I'll give it a shot. This is your movie. This is your movie on drugs.
I'm freaking out, man.
Anyway, Ken's dad figures out that they can kill Hedorah by drying out his body using electricity. Alright, now they just need to make a giant wall socket for Hedorah to stick his finger into, and they're all set. Meanwhile, the kids' protest rally doesn't seem to be going very well. The movie blew its wad on psychedelic color too early and has gone to black and white.
So why complain about it?
Because, man, that's the whole reason people subscribe to me in the first place. Well, that and my rugged TV serial killer good looks.
Let's sing and dance while we can. Come on, blow your mind!
Yeah, let's show how much we love the environment by burning shit! Also, what the hell are their instruments plugged into right now? I think Ken might be a little too young to be here. We've already seen the kid can't handle his drugs. This party is so happening, even these ghosts can't kill their buzz. Oh, and if you're wondering what the significance of those weird people looking down at the kids is... Hedorah may still be causing chaos and destruction, but as long as the end of the world has a sick guitar solo, who cares? Their fun gets interrupted when Hedorah comes by, but luckily Godzilla's there to save the day. Why does Godzilla's intro music in this movie sound like it was made for a cartoon fat guy?
Hedorah's heading for Mount Fuji.
Kenny's in danger.
Not only Ken. Everything's in danger.
Okay, sure, but on the plus side, Kenny's in danger. Time for Godzilla and Hedorah to battle it out and see who can do the electric slide the best. Ugh, I think Hedorah just gave us the first Godzilla series money shot. As if that wasn't bad enough, he also starts crop dusting all the people there.
Come on, get your torches!
Yeah, let's show Hedorah how much we love the environment by burning the whole countryside down. Fire, however, proves to be ineffective against Hedorah, and even worse, he ruined all the kids' new threads, man! This climactic fight scene might not have the pyrotechnics that some other Godzilla movies have, but what it lacks in explosions, it makes up for in acid. And I'm not talking about the stuff Hedorah's spraying Godzilla with. Oh, and in case you think I'm going a little overboard with the drug references in this video, I think Hedorah tries incapacitating Godzilla by giving him a contact high. And to add insult to injury, he also tries burying Godzilla alive with... oh god, what is that? Don't tell me Hedorah's trying to bury Godzilla in monster diarrhea. Ugh, I don't know what's worse, the fact that this is happening to Godzilla, or that I'm pretty sure this is a real porn genre that exists. Fortunately for him, the army has its own plan to kill Hedorah by luring him between two giant electrical panels and running enough electricity through him to dry him out. Unfortunately, their plan runs into a bit of a snag.
The power lines are down!
Oh man, who could have possibly guessed monsters would take down power lines in a Godzilla movie? Hopefully they can fix it soon. At this point, even the camera seems to be tripping balls. The army tries to lure Hedorah between the electrical panels using pretty lights, and if that doesn't work, just leave out a giant tray of pizza rolls. He's probably got the munchies at this point.
Oh wow, man. This is even better than the Laser Floyd show at the planetarium. Before I destroyed her, of course.
If you're wondering how they're gonna kill Hedorah when they don't have any electricity, don't worry. Godzilla powers the electrodes. Come on, they couldn't let the army be responsible for killing the bad guy monster. That goes against one of the cardinal rules of a Godzilla movie. And in addition to roasting Hedorah alive, Godzilla also castrates him? Okay, apparently those are actually supposed to be Hedorah's eyes, but it's funnier to think that those are his testicles, so I'm going with that. Oh, and if you thought this was the end of the movie, guess again. Hedorah tries to escape by flying away, which leads to one of the most infamous moments in Godzilla movie history. Ladies and gentlemen, feast your eyes on this. That's right, Godzilla tucks his tail between his legs and then uses his atomic breath to actually fly through the air.
Listen, dude, I know I've been trying to kill you for like the last half an hour, but I really gotta ask you this question. Are you flying? Because I sure ain't.
Okay, so Godzilla defeats Hedorah by putting him between the electrodes again. By the way, does anyone else find it ironic that a monster made from pollution was defeated by using excessive power consumption? And come on, Godzilla, don't get greedy. We can't have two castrations in this movie. Fun fact, the original ending had Godzilla looking at a giant pile of garbage before turning to face the camera and shedding a single tear. And don't worry, movie, there's gonna be so many more of these. So that's Godzilla vs. Hedorah, and not only is it not one of the 50 worst movies ever made, it's probably not even one of the 50 worst movies I've done on this show. It's also not the worst Godzilla movie, far from it in fact, but I will say this, it's definitely the weirdest Godzilla movie ever made. While it's not one of my favorite Godzilla movies, this is way too trippy and strange to just be dismissed as one of the worst movies ever made. Sure, a lot of the monster battles are kinda slow, the story's a little disjointed, and like most Godzilla movies of this era, a lot of it still panders to little kids. But it's like watching a kids movie on a bad acid trip, which just makes it even more bizarrely fascinating. Given how strange the movie is, it's easy to see why opinions on it are so polarized, but whether you love it or hate it, there's no Godzilla movie quite like this one. But the most important lesson to take away from this movie is to respect the environment. Because if you don't, a giant sludge monster will force you to star in the world's biggest bukkake video. So remember to recycle, boys and girls. Well, that's all for now, but Godzilla will return. Eventually. Not for a few episodes, though. Until next time.
Come raise your voice.